Hi everyone, my name is Reggie. I'm author of the book One Soul at a Time. First, let me tell you, this is not a religious YouTube channel. It's not a religious book. It's about recovery and recovery from all sorts of things. My story began about 30 years ago when I was called into the office of my job and was told that they thought I had a problem with alcohol. My first thought was, did they have any idea how much I had cut back before I started this job? I'd only been on the job for about 10 days when I was called downstairs. I left that day having gotten a 30-day leave of absence. They told me they weren't firing me. They gave me numbers of a doctor. They gave me numbers for Alcoholics Anonymous. And they said that they would talk to me in 30 days and we'd see what we'd do from there. My answer was going home. I had been trying to quit. I knew I wasn't going to be able to drink the way that I was needing to drink at that point. I'd been trying to stop that whole time. My whole identity was tied up in my work my whole life. I was a single mom. The kids had clean clothes, the laundry was done, the dinners were made, kids got to their gymnastics, their Boy Scouts and whatever they needed to do, and I was pretty much the sole support of my family. And now that had been taken from me. And I did not know how to stop, and I knew now that I couldn't keep going. So that day I sent my kids to their father's house. I had never felt so helpless and so sad, disappointed, mad at myself. How could this possibly happen? How could this possibly happen to me, the all-powerful and mighty me? I was a survivor. A lot of things about my life was in survival mode. But for this one particular day, I had had enough. I didn't know what any answers could be. I didn't have any insurance. I sent my kids to their fathers, and I had a bottle of Valium and a bottle of vodka, and I had all intentions of taking my life that night. And I poured myself a drink, and my phone rang, and it was my second practice husband that I hadn't heard from in 6 months. That said, hey, how's the new job going? Because in small New England towns, pretty much everybody knew what everybody else was doing at one point or another. And I just said I wasn't going that well. You know, that they had told me that they thought I had a problem with alcohol. And then he got really quiet, and he said, where's the kids? And I said, they're with their dads. They're with their dad. And he asked me a few more questions, and he just said, you're gonna do something stupid. It's true. I mean, I had all intentions of taking my life that night. And trust me when I tell you, I was not a person that threatened suicide. I threatened many other people's lives in the course of my career. But crying that I was a victim of something, that was not my mode. But this guy said the words that I guess I needed to hear. That he said, you're going to do something stupid. You know I can't leave the house. That he was going to call 911. He was going to give me 20 minutes to get in the car and come up to his house. And if I wasn't there in 20 minutes, he was going to call 911 and let me deal with that. And somewhere at some point that night, I had heard my mother's voice say, don't cause a scene. And I decided for some reason that just was not acceptable. So I got in the car and I drove up to his place. And I sat there and I cried until 3 o'clock in the morning. And he said, well, I'll help you get through this. I'll help you get through this. I came home that morning, and my next door neighbor called me or came over and said, hey, what's going on? You know, her roommate had said you were a mess. And so I told her what had happened, and she said, I know how to get you help. She said, I've been in and out of 7 rehabs. And she did. She took me down to town hall. She helped me figure out paperwork, which got me into a detox, which that was the beginning of a journey that has led me to a life beyond my wildest dreams. Now, I need to tell you that they told me I had to be drunk when I went into the detox. When I thought that meant I had to feel drunk. When you drink a quart to a half gallon of vodka a day, it takes a lot of vodka. It takes a lot of vodka to feel drunk. And that night when I went in there, I blew a .475. And for anyone who doesn't understand blood alcohol levels, 0.08 is legally drunk. 0.52 is brain dead. They took it 3 times just to make sure that it was reading right. That wasn't a pretty night. I had a drop-down seizure that night and almost died the next morning. But I haven't had a drink of alcohol since. So if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling helpless, if you've given up, I'm telling you that there's another way to do things. And One Soul at a Time is an amazing tool on how to just plug practical changes in that can help you overcome whatever it is that's hurting your heart and your soul today.